So yeah, he brings a lot to the game, and he's right here.
Right now!
Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
You will never hear a radio host of a sports talk radio show in a better mood than Chris Brooks was during the gridiron. Because his beloved Rebels are ranked number 1 in the country in baseball. Look at him out the window there, JB. I guarantee you Brooks doing a little high step on the way to the car. Don't you? I mean, I swear, Chris Brooks was downright giddy during the course of his show today. Look that word up.
We were going to have a hard time to catch up with it. I thought that was a great show.
I'm telling you, okay, so I walk in here to the Bureau, the Farm Bureau studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team, Farm Bureau Insurance. And I walk in the Bureau and I put these earbuds in where I can hear what they're saying now on their show at the end of their show. And for the last 5 or 6 minutes now, I cracked up. Well, actually, it would have been more like maybe 10 minutes because there were some, before I put the headphones in, I kind of saw some things that were going on the Country Pleasin' text line from Country Pleasin' Sausage, including one listener in particular who was sending them scrapbook pictures of himself in athletic competition as a high schooler. Okay? And his name's Squirrel. Squirrel was sending old black and white scrapbook pictures of himself to, like, I don't know. He was sending it to them. Okay, so I saw that. Well, I'm like, well, I've got to hear what they're talking about. So I pick up the headphones and I put them in, and I start hearing their conversation. And I have never heard Chris Brooks in a better mood than what he was in today. JB, do you agree with that?
Oh, no, he was on top of the world. You know, he said that he had a little bit of a raspy voice when he came in. First part of the show, and I would imagine that's because his boys were playing baseball over at Warren Central last night.
Okay. Did they win?
Yeah, well,
they must have.
Yeah.
Look, according
they're a pretty
to Chris,
decent team.
According to Chris Brooks' mood, nothing has gone wrong. Apparently, the guy was on cloud 9. Now I know he's full of the spirit, legit, like he's saved. Okay, he believes. Jesus,
he's a follower of the way.
Jesus, God's Son, bought and paid for, knows it. Okay? His name is in the book of life. So he ought to be on cloud 9. Okay? Yeah. But, having said that, I'm just telling you there's something about the fact that Ole Miss was ranked number 1 in these college baseball polls. Now, after going 3-0, they got a 19-game win streak. They just swept through that the Texas Challenge, whatever you want to call it out there. They beat Texas yesterday, dominated them. By the way, let me just tell you, I mean, they're the Texas Longhorns. They're not a very good baseball team, okay? They're not. I mean, State dominated them. Everybody dominated them. If Texas were in the SEC, they'd be last this year. That's just the truth of it, okay? But Texas Tech and TCU really good. And Ole Miss just walked through the competition out there. Of course, they had a 1-run win over, Texas Tech. It was a good ball game. Really, the closest Tech came to winning a ball game this weekend was that one. TCU got one win to, I guess, save a little face for somebody from the Big 12 in this thing. It's the only win all weekends when they beat State by 1 run. State had the winning run or the tying run on third base in the 9th. Ifs and buts, candy and nuts sort of thing. But anyway, all that being said, Chris, I know you're listening. I just have one question for you. After it being obvious what a great mood he is in because Ole Miss is ranked number 1 in the, what poll is it? Was it all of them?
Baseball America is the one that I'm familiar with.
Okay, well, the one he put out there today is D1 Baseball. So the people at D1, Kendall Rogers and those guys, D1Baseball.com, Ole Miss 1, Arkansas 2, Vanderbilt 3, Louisville 4, Mississippi State 5, Miami 6, Florida 7, UCLA 8, UC Santa Barbara 9, and Texas Tech went 0-3 this weekend and went from 3 down to 10. They're still in the top 10. But they put Ole Miss number 1 in D1 baseball poll. And Chris Brooks, I just got one question for you. Do you recognize this song? I tell you, man, the guy's in a good mood, and I would be too, I guess, if I was an Ole Miss fan. You get them ranked number 1. Dominated Texas, just whipped them. What was the final score of that one? I know this, it was not close. All right, so text me today. Text me on the show. I'm here in the Bureau. Y'all text me on the Country Please and text line. It's 885 ESPN, 885 ESPN or 885-3776. Call me on the Davini phone, Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. Here's the number, 995-1059, 601 number, 995-1059. Hey to everybody on the live stream. Thanks for tuning in. David first to comment on the live stream. He's on Facebook. He says, Hail State, hello, Matt and JB, baseball, and go! Jason said, boys look good. Got to clean a few things up. They look good. Yeah, State, I thought it was a good weekend for State. Win 2 out of 3. You lost a 1-run loss, but go win 2 out of 3 against good competition and missing a couple of your better pitchers. Bednar was there but didn't get to pitch. Sarantola didn't get to make the trip. All that stuff. So, yeah, hopefully it's a sign of things come through. And I think it is. I mean, you got the fact is you have 2 teams in Mississippi that if they, number 1, stay healthy, number 2, don't somehow, just completely drive it off the railroad tracks there. You got 2 teams in Mississippi that have the inside track, I think, to be in that super regional when you're just a pitch or 2 or a swing or 2 away from Omaha. And there's talent in Oxford and there's talent in Starkville to go win a national championship this year. No question about it. I mean, there's just no question about it. All right, Country Please and text line. Squirrel said.
Scroll back up and look what he did at Country Meat
Look
Packers
at that.
earlier.
So when did he send that? I'm seeing the picture.
That was in the Chris Brooks hour.
So earlier today, he sent them a picture. Squirrel apparently went to Country Meat Packers, Highway 49, Florence, Mississippi. That'd be the home of Country Please and Sausage. Look for the big red hog, and spent $133 loaded up. That's awesome. Attaboy, Squirrel. Yeah, he says he spent over $100 in honor of Matt White at Country Please. And let me tell you something. You loaded up. I wish I could eat with you. Woo. All right, Squirrel. Okay, here's what it was. He was sending those pictures, the high school stuff, because they doubted whether or not he was actually in a decathlon. And something about the pole vault started it. That's something I've never done, is even tried the actual, like the real deal pole vault.
I did it in 8th grade.
How'd that go?
I didn't do it in 9th grade.
Hey, do you know who? I'd have to go back and look it up. Now, I don't want to go so far as to say state champion, but I want to say went really up, way up there in the competition, was big time in the state of Mississippi in the pole vault. You know who?
The guy from Oxford.
No, I'm not talking about Olympic level. This is in high school competition.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, because there were 2 kids at Clinton graduated in 2010, the Greer brothers.
We might have to go back and look it up. This would have been around 96, 97.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit
before that, yeah. Josh Morgan, the head football coach at Warren Central, before he became an all-SEC free safety at State for us in the late 90s, Josh in high school at Warren Central was big time in the pole vault. To go back and look it up. I don't know if he won a state title or anything like that, but I know he was really good. I'm sure there are records. See, I'm sure I could text his family and say, hey, what was it? But then word would get back around to him and Josh would be like, what's Matt doing? What is Matt digging all that up for?
Breaking the family rules by talking about me on the radio.
Yeah, right. That's it. I'll be bringing up my past, bro. All right. Walton says right here, pump the brakes on these rankings. It's February. Okay, Walton. hey, man, you just keep sending me pictures of that food you're eating on the tailgate of your truck, and we'll read your text, whether we agree or not. Yeah, you're right. Look, here's the thing about rankings. It's like yesterday when a homecoming queen was here, and she's a big Ole Miss fan, obviously, and she's like, they're number one. Ole Miss, they put Ole Miss number one. And she goes, is that a big deal? And I said, well, yes, it is a big deal when they rank you number one. But base kings don't hold as much actual weight. It's more, it feels good. Maybe it's prophetic. Maybe it's telling. Maybe it's foreshadowing. Maybe it's not. We don't know. They don't actually hold as much weight as football because, thankfully, in baseball and basketball, we have these big playoffs. And in baseball, you have a 64-team tournament. So the fact that early in the year we get a top 25 or whatever, it's great. We love it. You know, programs love it. I think if you want to just go like sheer accuracy, the college baseball polls are probably more accurate earlier in the year in terms of the way things finish out late in the year and compared to basketball, certainly compared to football. But you get a 64-team tournament, you know, so that's what matters the most. So, okay, pump the brakes. It is just rankings. We're 3 games into the year for everybody. But it's pretty telling. Okay, Ole Miss on a 19-game win streak, 3-0 this year. You know, TCU, Texas Tech, Texas just roll right through it. They're going to be really good. Really good. It just kind of, you know, sets us up. I like it. Put 2 teams in the top 5 and roll the dice and see what happens. Unnamed texter said, we did great without 2 of our weekend starters. And that's true. You know, one of the big negatives for Mississippi State baseball coming out of the weekend that people are pointing to is going, well, if we got to look for a negative, you'd point to the number of walks and hit batsmen by state pitchers. It really added up over the course of the weekend. A lot of walks and several hit batsmen. Well, I do think in a normal scenario, your top 3 pitchers are McLeod, Bednar, and Sarantola. Well, only one of those 3 pitched. If all 3 pitch and start, those totals are going to be a little different. Now, you don't know about results and all that, but I'm just saying if Bednar and Sarantola pitch for you, the likelihood that you have that many walks or hit batsmen, I mean, it's just not likely. So that number would probably be different. But again, they didn't pitch. The state's just good, and they're deep. And Fristow, who pitched for him yesterday, look, I mean, he's got that little it going. Hard-throwing right-hander, some swagger out there on the mound, ball tails on him like crazy. Hey, and I'll tell you this, I don't know what's the kid's name that closed out the game yesterday for Ole Miss? The end of their ball game against Texas. Who was that? I can't remember his name. But there's another example of a guy who, you just watch him pitch and you go, look at the movement on the baseball. Like I watched, there was just back-to-back pitches at one point where this kid throws one. It's like a 2-seam fastball. He's a right-hander. It's like a 2-seam fastball that went from one side of the plate to the other in on a right-handed hitter. And it's like, whoa, look at all that movement. Comes right back, throws a slider that goes from one side of the plate to the other, opposite. This time away from the right-handed batter. And you would love to put those 2 things in the same clip and track the balls and watch them just cross each other. I mean, just crazy movement. Arms all over the place. All right, y'all give me a call. Davini Equipment phone line. Northwest Rankin did win. Okay, they won 14-1 last night. Southern Miss signee Nick Monaster. Did I say that right?
I think that's right.
3 no-hit innings. He struck out 7 and went 2 for 3 with a grand slam and 5 RBIs. Hey, have a day, sir.
Not a bad day, is it?
Have yourself a day. All right. Lynn, hanging on the Davini Equipment phone. Thanks for calling, Lynn. What's up?
How about it, Matt? Enjoy the weather today?
I'm telling you, I walked out there today and felt temperatures in the 60s with sun, and I felt like just stripping off and putting on a swimsuit. That's how I feel.
It's like a different world, man.
It really is.
Hey, now you know why rankings are important, don't you? Especially the Ole Miss fans.
Why?
Well, they're getting ready to hang a banner right now. You didn't know that? You know they're going to hang a banner. They're number one roll. They're ranked number one in the poll.
You saying I should you saying I should go to Oxford and open up a sign and banner business on the square? Is that what I ought to do?
If they can ever get ranked number one in anything besides baseball like this, you'll make a lot of money.
Thanks, Lynn.
A lot of money. Hey, but now about how we look now, really and truly, think about it. When you walk 10 and hit 4 and you can find a way to win a baseball game,
yeah,
that says something, because you're supposed to lose that game almost 9 out of 10 times or better.
Well, there's no doubt that's overcoming quite a bit, and that's another thing, Lynn. There's really no way to quantify this for somebody like me to go, well, this team just has that look. They just have this it look about them. Well, I'm being honest with you. Okay, Arkansas is good, and boy, they have forevermore played good. But you watch Ole Miss and State play, both those teams just had, and I know it's just 3 games, but both those teams just had sort of that look about them, like, even though they lost that game, it's not, they went 2-1, but they're sitting there with 2 outs and bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th in that game against TCU. I fully expected State to win it just because they've been pulling that kind of stuff off.
That loss there is typical baseball, and I took a shot at Ole Miss just a while ago just because that's what we do, But now, ain't no 2 ways about it. Ole Miss has got a very good baseball team, and it will be there to be reckoned with all year long.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
No doubt.
I agree. Well, and they
all right, Matt. Well, we'll listen to you, and you have a good one, buddy.
All right, you too, Lynn. Thanks for the call. Always great to hear from you. Thanks for the call on the Davini Equipment phone line. Yeah, they just, you watch Ole Miss play, and every box is checked. Okay, all the right kind of arms, right and left, starting, pin, closing, all this. Okay, every position solid. They play great defense. I mean, they had a web gem in that game yesterday at shortstop. When they get to the plate throughout their lineup, it's just mature at bat after mature at bat. They had a weekend where, again, a lot like State, where you could count on one hand the number of bad swings at bad pitches and bad at bats. They're just solid the whole weekend. Ole Miss has legit power. State showed some power you didn't really necessarily know you had, I think. And Hancock with a couple of home runs. Rowdy goes deep twice. What I'm interested to see is, for State, are there any lineup tweaks? Or do you just stick with Rowdy as your leadoff guy? Some of that seemed to work. All those left-handed bats in the lineup, too, for State. And really, if you were to look at the splits against righties and lefties, they were good against both. I don't know. It's just a good weekend, good start. And we'll pick it up, look at schedules and stuff. Today's Tuesday. I don't think you have any games today. You were going to have State versus Jackson State today, but Mississippi State's stuff getting pushed back a day made this technically a travel day for them. So today's game postponed, but they will play tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And talking about the weather, JB, have you peeked ahead to tomorrow's weather?
Yeah. Yeah, we're reopening Live Oaks tomorrow, and I went in early this morning to start taking tee times, and people are calling in as fast as they can get them in.
Mm-hmm. I think what I looked at was 70. Well, this is North Mississippi. I guess this is a Tupelo forecast. Yeah. So it's telling me that it's 70 degrees with sunshine out there right now. And then tomorrow, the high is 71 and clear skies. I guess part of the day you may see a cloud or two, but it's going to be a beautiful afternoon for baseball tomorrow. Yeah. And then we'll look at the schedules. I know State has Tulane coming in there this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And
local Clinton kid playing for Tulane.
Oh, yeah?
Walker Birchfield playing first base for Tulane.
All right. I'm hoping those games get played. There's a pretty significant chance of rain in North Mississippi all weekend long. But it can ebb and flow, of course. But, yeah. I mean, there's a chance it could be.
This weekend is 45% on Sunday with a 76-degree high.
Okay.
Tomorrow, beautiful 74 high, low 54. I mean, that's like San Diego weather.
Yeah. Something's wrong. I think I must have changed this to, I clicked Starkville on my app.
Yeah.
And it told me it was 26 degrees. Is that Celsius? Did I change it to Celsius?
Well,
See,
they told us when I was in elementary school that we would all have to use the metric system, that we would never use yards and gallons and all that ever again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, Starkville.
They were wrong.
Starkville. Here you go. Friday in Starkville. Early part of the day, 85% chance of rain Friday. Earlier part of the day. Jumps back to about 50% chance in the afternoon with a high of 57. Saturday, a high of 65 with a 50% chance of rain. And then Sunday, right at about 50% chance with, could be some thunderstorms, but the high will be 72 on Sunday. So see, it's going to be one of those weekends where who knows? I mean, you may get hard rain, you may get a little rain, but there's going to be a chance just kind of throughout. So, hopefully you get some baseball in. All right, JB, what did you send me here? 24/7 Sports. Deion Sanders speaks about the 2 theft incidents at Jackson State.
Yeah, that came out just a few moments ago.
Click. I'll click on that during the commercial break and see what we've got. Just getting started with you here on this Tuesday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau studio. I'm Matt, he's JB. Y'all text, y'all call, and stick around. We'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt. Just answer the questions. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Answer the questions. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, but this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye Orange Juice. Easy, you can serve it in a minute. Thrifty, it will save you money. Orchard fresh and delicious.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Now, if you know your oats and want to feel your oats and taste how good an oat cereal can be, well, you'll know.
All right, back with you, live in the studio. The Bureau, the Farm Bureau studio, decked out in Blue Delta jeans. Y'all check them out, BlueDeltaJeans.com. I'm telling you, they are tailored to you. Their slogan there, one size fits one. That's what these blue jeans from Blue Delta Jeans are. They are made for you, and that's it. They're not made for anybody else. They're going to fit you, custom. They're the best fitting jeans I've ever had on, period. Check it out. You can do it online now for the first time ever. You don't actually have to go and have a person, tailor them to you or fit you. Now you can do it online. Go to BlueDeltaJeans.com. Just go to the virtual tailor there, click it, and type in and answer the questions. Once you do that, I've done it. I'm wearing them right now. And once you do that, you're good to go. Mine came in a couple of weeks. Put them on, boom, they fit. And if you use my name, use code Matt Wyatt, no spaces, all lowercase, code Matt Wyatt, you're going to get a 10% discount. Check them out there. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use code Matt Wyatt, no spaces, all lowercase. What does it say right here? What did Jonathan say? Jonathan said on the text line, Ole Miss ranked number 1 in late February. Chris Brooks is about to find out just how easy it is to get to Omaha. Listen, we're never going to let him live that down, are we? We take it out of context, but we're not letting him live it down.
Yeah. I mentioned that to him a couple of weeks ago, and it hurt his feelings, so I vowed not to bring it up anymore.
Did it really hurt his feelings, or are you being sarcastic?
Well, no, he said it. He thought about it all that day, and when he came back in the next day, he was kind of mad at me. And, I'm not a confrontational person.
He was genuinely mad?
Well, I don't know genuinely, but just kind of upset, Not like mad, we're gonna go to guns, but,
yeah.
Okay. I think I hurt his feelings. Because he said a number of times today that the College World Series is the hardest championship.
He's going tip the seesaw back the other way if he can.
There you go.
Yeah, we're just having a good time.
Just like Pavlov's dog.
What does it say here? Nick said, all I know is somebody better tell Dobbs that the dude needs to be at full capacity by April the 16th. What is that, Super Bulldog weekend? All right, well, doggone, since here we are, I'm just going to pull the schedule up, okay? I'm just going to pull I probably should have already pulled it up or at least had it handy. I'm going to pull it up. While I pull it up, we'll stay on the baseball topic and head over here to the Davini Equipment phone line. Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer, the oldest Kubota dealer in the U.S. It means they've been doing it better, longer than anyone else right there, right here at home at Davini Equipment. Davini phone has Jay. Talk a little college baseball. Jay, what's up?
Well, hey, Matt, watched a lot of baseball this weekend. Certainly excited about the weekend and the prospects for this Bulldog squad. But here's what we know. SEC is loaded.
Yep.
Lamont has hinted at a very challenging decision that he and, for that matter, all the SEC teams are going to face this year, and that's who to pitch in the midweek game. Now, historically, right, they go with that fifth, sixth best pitcher, but Lemonis is already thinking about, wow, I might need to leverage a Brad Smith, Houston Harding, and Fristow in these high leverage situations and these to get us through these SEC weekends. But which that kind of sets you up for some vulnerability in these midweek games because they're never a guarantee. What are your thoughts on who you think the midweek pitching is who they're gonna start there in Starkville?
Jay, I don't know. I mean, it's early. And I think it's even harder to know for sure, like which way to go on it because we didn't get to see a typical weekend this past weekend with Bednar and Sarantola throwing. So if you go typical weekend and you go 1, 2, 3, McLeod, Bednar, Sarantola, it's like, well, we know Landon Sims is out of the bullpen probably first, but who is typically going to be next out of the bullpen and next out of the bullpen? So is it Brandon Smith that for sure is a bullpen weekend guy and he's not going to be starting in the midweek? I mean, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Part of me I just wonder, because you're right, okay, of the importance of the midweeks. And with all the arms, part of me just wonders if it's not Kessler, who is the oldest guy on the staff, right? If we're to add up the number of pitches probably in a career, he's probably throwing more at the college level than anybody else in there. And this past weekend, we didn't see him until what? Monday, yesterday.
That's right.
So I tend to think that he's probably a prime candidate to be your starter in the midweek. I could be wrong, though.
Could be. Yeah, could be, without a doubt. But obviously he's someone that's probably play a critical role in the SEC weekend.
Sure.
But I'm just always amazed when you look back at the number of midweek games. You look up and all the SEC teams are vulnerable. Florida, Vanderbilt, they get beat in midweek games. You're just shocked by it. So it's a unique animal. But
hey,
looking
what
forward
about
to a
this?
great season, Matt.
What about this, Jay?
Go
Let me
ahead.
ask your opinion on this too. You are so loaded down with right-handed pitching, right? Now, McLeod, your starter, you expect him to be a 5-inning guy automatically in those Friday nights, and he's a lefty, but you're so loaded down with right-handed pitching that it's almost like for that reason I go, well, and I know they started Houston Harding, the lefty, in midweek stuff last year at the beginning of the year. Maybe they do it again this year. Maybe they want a lefty on the mound during the midweek. I kind of would doubt it, but just go, if you've got so much right-handed arms, so many right-handed arms, it seems like the lefties would be prime candidates to be matchup guys for you on SEC weekends.
No doubt about it. I don't see a lefty starting in the midweek. I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think they're going to use those for those leverage situations. Yep.
Good stuff.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Jay.
Yep. Bye.
Good to hear from you. That's what I think. And Kessler, again, experienced guy, right-handed. What gets you beat a lot of times in midweek games and midweek starts? It's walks. It's a guy going out there on a Tuesday or a Wednesday early in the year and it's freezing cold. Or a team that's sky high to come into your ballpark and play you in the midweek in the regular season and you're not sky high. And what do? You go out there and maybe it's good in the first and second and the third, you walk the ballpark. A lot of times the control issues in the midweek, and sometimes you might chalk that up to just the maturity and the mental approach. If you're running a freshman out there every week in the midweek, they're going to hit a bump or two. That's just what freshmen do. Well, I mean, Carlisle Kessler's been around the block 5 more times than anybody else on that staff. He's going to approach it probably the most pro-like of anybody. He is a right-hander. So, and if you don't play till Wednesday, I mean, I think if you.
What about the Carmouche kid out of Denham Springs that was really good for LSU Lab? You heard anything about him? 6'5", 210, lefty.
I hadn't heard anything. Of course, he didn't get to throw this weekend. Yeah. No. Well, and here's the other thing about that, JB. You bring that up. You go, okay, well, we didn't see him this weekend. We hadn't heard about him, but we have to remember that up until Friday, really, that was a coaching staff that was planning on playing 3 ball games against top 10-ish teams and then turn around and playing 2 on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, so you didn't know. what you're going to have to do with your pitching. Right, I got you.
You know, so he very well may be out there tomorrow for all we know. So we'll just have to see.
They got plenty of arms. I don't think pitching's going to be an issue for them, but I do think Jay had a pretty good point in the fact that a lot of times those midweek games, they just lose their intensity because those SEC weekend games are so intense.
And that's why I think somebody like Carlisle Kessler, who's the oldest guy on the team, probably is going to have a better chance to have the right mentality to approach a midweek game regardless of who you're playing and if it's cold and if there's 100 people there.
Yeah, he's an old Warren Central guy.
Right.
Yep. Sure is.
Nickelback on the Country Pleasing text line said that he had heard that Carmouche was out because of COVID, whether it be contact tracing or whatever. You know, I guess he's one of those, Nickelback said you didn't have 5 of your top 10 to 12 pitchers this weekend for various reasons. And so that they managed it pretty doggone.
Kind of like the Kansas City offensive line for the Super Bowl.
Well, it kind of is. Moving people around. But I'll tell you what now, State managed it pretty well.
Well, then you got to imagine that they were on pitch counts, too.
You got to imagine so.
You're not going to let your guy go out there and throw 7 innings, throw up to 100 pitches, not this early in the season.
And that big rascal, Fristow,
he's a big old boy, isn't he?
Well,
6'4", 210, 220?
Yeah, well, 6'4", and he had the right look to him now. Like a future, sure enough, future weekender.
Yeah, it looks like he'll go in and play for the A's with that hair.
Yeah. A bunch of them have let their hair grow out.
Yeah, the mullets are back in.
Isn't that the doggonedest thing you've ever seen? Okay, look.
Well, I'll tell you what's worse than that is they're going back to these tight basketball shorts.
Okay, JB,
I can send you a picture.
We are watching the State and Ole Miss game, me and the homecoming queen, and you know what she says, looking at the TV, she goes, how come Mississippi State's players are wearing these tight shorts? I said, look, you need to call JB and y'all just argue about it or hash it out because he's got the same problem. He does not like these shorty shorts they're wearing again.
I'm going to send you and Squirrel a picture.
I don't need the picture. I'll just be honest with you. But yeah, the kids are growing the mullets out again. They're in. That's like 20 years ago, bell bottoms came back. It lasted about 3 years. I guess we're in for mullets maybe for another year and a half. All right.
Business in the front, party in the back.
We'll party on the back end of the hour. Coming up next. Y'all stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, and at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com a couple weeks ago. Went in, I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep a couple weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's virtual tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own. Bet you never thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use this code
Use the code. You're going to get a discount.
They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too.
Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jello instant pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jello instant pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jello instant pudding, made by the famous Jello folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jello instant pudding.
Time to get back to the Matt Wyatt Show. Talking more great sports for you, Mississippi.
Online transmission is ready, sir.
Live online at thezone1059.com and
Keep your radio turned on
to ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
Back with you. Here we go. Rolling along, getting all set to wrap up hour number 1 with you here in the studio. Hi to everybody on the live stream. Let's see here. Who said what? Joy waved at us over on Facebook. Hi to you, Joy. Wesley said, how about that Luke Hancock? Excited about his season. Yep. Big time weekend for him. Lynn, appreciate you tuning in. Sharon said, what? Big bat baseball. Rowdy Jordan, Luke Hancock. Clean up something on the mound, or some things on the mound, and we are unstoppable. That's from Sharon. Sven is in. What else we have? Yeah, okay. Someone on Periscope watching said that 6'9" TCU pitcher had a lot to do with the Mississippi State loss. He was a buzzsaw in that start of that game 2 of that weekend, wasn't he? I mean, he was good. State hung in there and just kind of weathered the storm, and pitching staff kept the game close enough where you had a shot at it in the 9th and hit the ball hard there with 2 outs in the 9th. Just hit it right to somebody. Yeah, he was real deal good for sure. Earlier today on the text line, Nickelback said, Ole Miss is good. Ole Miss will host. Ole Miss will lose their regional. It's what they do. Is that right? Jonathan said, I just want to take a step back and say how great it is that you're spending your lunch hour being asked to break down the midweek pitching rotation. He says, as a State fan being forced to cheer for basketball over the past 2 months, I am pumped to hear about the baseball team depth chart. Yeah. Listen, Jonathan, it's what we do in Mississippi, isn't it? JB, I'm standing out there in the snow at the golf course. We live close to an old golf course here in Tupelo. And when we were covered up in ice and snow, that was like the popular place in the neighborhood for everybody to take their kids to go sledding.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of these super duper elevated tee boxes at this place where it's like, the tips are up here on the top, and then you step down the hill a few feet. There's the next tees, and then the senior tees are down the hill. So you've got these like terraced layers that you can sled down the hill, right? And then you get to the bottom of the hill, just keep on going and sled all the way down the fairway. And anyway, we were out there and we were sledding, and a friend of mine is a neighbor. our kids are sledding together and all. We're talking, and he's an Alabama graduate. And he was asking about, sports business and radio and stuff. And we got on that subject, and I told him, I said, I've sort of joked about it in the past, but it's not really joking because it's technically true. I said, if I'm on the radio, in my career now, been doing this a little over 10 years. How many years have I been doing this? Let's see, 18. So I'm at 13 years now and doing talk radio every day. I said, and in Mississippi, you can probably get by, but you're just not going to last very long doing sports radio in Mississippi if you don't talk college baseball, especially this time of year. You must talk it. And I said, I've framed it this way in the past just so people understand. In Mississippi on the radio, if you don't talk college baseball, you get fired. In Alabama on the radio, if you talk college baseball, you get fired. And he's like, you're right. I was like, bless their hearts. Okay, it's give and take. They have Alabama-Auburn football, okay? If you're on the radio, like my buddies who are on the radio in Birmingham, they have Alabama-Auburn football. Well, guess what they're doing today on the radio? They're drumming up Alabama-Auburn football somehow, some way. As much as I love it, it would bore me to tears if I had to do it all year. And thank goodness, this time of year in the state of Mississippi, we have 3 major fan bases of top 25 type programs, 2 in the SEC, and baseball can carry. People love it. And so that's what I was going to say, Jonathan, is somebody driving through goes, man, on a huge sports station in the state capital and surrounding area during the lunch hour, this man is breaking down midweek pitching in college baseball. Yeah, well, welcome to Mississippi, okay? It's what we do. That's what people care about. It's just the way it is. So, on that note, let me add a little something to it. I got more stuff here for you. We got Players of the Week after 1 week of SEC baseball. The co-player of the week in the SEC is Wes Clark from South Carolina. And the other co-player of the week is from Ole Miss. Now, y'all help me with the pronunciation. Is it Peyton Chatanier or Chatanier or Chatanier or Chatagnier? I really want to get it right. Anyway, it's Peyton. Peyton from Ole Miss, who led all Rebels with a stellar 3-game weekend at the plate, 3 wins against top 10 teams. He finished at the top of most of their offensive categories. He hit .455 on the weekend. His best game was yesterday against Texas. He went 3 for 4 at the plate with 3 doubles and then had to leave the game due to an injury. The kid for South Carolina was a co-player of the week, Wes Clark, South Carolina, 700 batting average, 1.8 slugging, 800 on base, scored 7 runs, drove in 9, hit 3 home runs in 3 wins against Dayton. He was 3 for 3 with 3 runs scored, 4 RBIs, and a 3-run home run on the first day of the season. 3 for 4 the next day with 2 home runs. Dadgummit. And then co-pitcher of the week, Landon Sims, Mississippi State, alongside Caleb Bolden from Arkansas. We'll get to the freshman of the week in a bit. So your co-pitchers of the week in the SEC, Landon Sims, Bulldogs. Came in the bottom of the 5th inning, had the bases loaded against Texas. He threw 16 pitches and struck out the side. 1, 2, 3. He held their lead to 5-1 at that time. All right, he went on to retire all 12 batters that he faced. He struck out 10 of them. He faced 12 batters and struck out 10 of them. 4 innings, and so he goes pitcher of the week. Bolden from Arkansas out of the pen for them. Also against Texas, went 4 hitless, struck out 7, and walked just 1. Freshman of the week from LSU, Dylan Cruz. Outstanding college debut. First 3 games. Cruz went 7 for 12 over the weekend with 2 home runs, 3 runs he drove in, 2 runs scored, and they beat Air Force. So that's your freshman of the week. Okay, Josh, thank you. So it's Chardonnay, huh? Chardonnay. What a great name. What about the injury, though, Josh? Do you know that? Do you know those details? It said that, he was on fire yesterday and had the 3 doubles in the ballgame against Texas, but then had to leave for some type of injury. I had not heard that. Didn't get to finish watching it last night. What do you think about a 3-hour and 45-minute, 4-hour college baseball game? What do you think about those? Mm-hmm. All right, Nickelback said the kid for Ole Miss hit 200 points under Luke Hancock. Is that what he said? Well, here's the thing about it. I mean, you got to spread it around a little bit, don't you? I mean, somebody for Ole Miss has a 19-game win streak. They just went 3-0 on a weekend. They go up to number 1 in the country. Somebody's got to get something. Okay, you can't just give the awards to everybody else. With a couple of minutes left here in the hour, over here on the Davini Equipment phone line, my man Ponto is back. Ponto, I wasn't too rude yesterday, was I?
No, I told JB that you could hit me over the head with a 2x4. I don't even blink. You can't make me mad.
Good.
No, I'm old. I'm 76. I've been ridiculed often.
Okay.
But listen, I wanted to plug Ben. Ben Howland didn't get any credit. He won that game.
They won the game. They did. But, it was sort of framed as a bad loss for Ole Miss as opposed to a good win for State.
Well, yeah, State, neither one's going to make the bracket. Ole Miss may wind up with a 4-game losing skid. They got to play Kentucky last game. Kentucky's on the roll.
Yeah.
So the other 2 games on the road, they might not win again.
That's right.
But State has underachieved. State has underachieved, no question.
Yeah.
Ole Miss. And listen, when State plays Ole Miss, you can't lose. That's Kermit Davis coaches. It doesn't matter who wins, but don't quote me. But that's I was a sports editor when his daddy was the coach.
Yeah, right.
So
right, sure.
But it doesn't matter if he wins, great, and if he loses, well, I'm not too disappointed.
Yeah, that's funny. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Kermit notched the win,
That is funny.
That's
I
great.
hadn't thought of it that way.
Not that way in football.
No.
Not that way on League Feet.
No, basketball's a little different, for sure. Ponto, appreciate you.
Yeah, baseball too. All right, God bless.
All right, God bless you. Thanks for calling back. Preacher Paul said, Ponto running for mayor of Jackson. He sure is. I hollered at him yesterday. I had to ask the Lord for forgiveness. Ponto forgave me.
I don't think you hollered at him. I think you hollered at what he said.
Well, yeah, you're right.
A little bit of difference, Pat.
I did tell him.
Good man. Yeah.
I did tell him to shut up, though. We're past it.
Oops.
All right, that's hour 1 in the books. Hour 2 coming up. Y'all stick around.
There's a lot of noise when it comes to 5G.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country-pleasing sausage is outstanding whether you cook it over a fire or in the house. Cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor. You see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasing.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country pleasing sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me. Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
By someone whom I believe will one day regret that comment when they realize that what we say on social media and the web stays there. So let's all think before we post. Pretty good lesson all the way around. To learn more, check us out at thekindnessrevolution.net.
WRKS Pickett's Jackson.
Time, John.
It's time to get back to the Matt Wyatt Show.
Live in the studio.
Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
All right, here we go. Hour number 2 of the show, off and running. I'm Matt. JB is here, staying connected to you because of C Spire, the number 1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Hour 2 here in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team. We talked a little baseball. You got State and Ole Miss ranked in the top 5. Ole Miss number 1, State at number 5. That's D1 baseball. It came out today. They got some other polls out there, but one weekend, got some good teams. We went through players of the week in the SEC. Ole Miss as a hitter in there, co-player. State as a pitcher, co-pitcher. The Conference USA pitcher of the week. You talk about numbers. Look at this. Conference USA pitcher of the week's from Southern Miss. Right-handed pitcher Hunter Stanley. All right. Against Northwestern State this weekend, Hunter Stanley threw 6 innings, struck out 13, and gave up 1 hit. Look here. How many? He threw 83 pitches, and 61 of them were strikes. That's the other thing. 61 strikes and 22 weren't. So how good does your stuff have to be if you're constantly throwing strikes? Nothing's out of the strike zone, apparently. You're constantly throwing strikes, and they still can't hit it and strike out 13. I mean, it's just that was a dominant day for him. How many? Well, 6 times 3. How many? So you faced 18. Well, I say faced 18. You got 18 outs. Am I doing that math right? You got 18 outs in 6 innings. 13 of the 18 are strikeouts. 1 of them was a hit. It means 4 others were something else. I mean, it's a dominant outing for Hunter Stanley at Southern Miss. And so he's your Conference USA pitcher of the week. I invite you to join us today and communicate. You can talk. We can talk. Whatever y'all want to talk about. It's good with me. Hit me up on the live stream. Hey to y'all. If you're tuning in on the live stream, we have some more people in on the live stream today because I think some of the audio feed coming from the stations having a little hiccup today. We'll get that fixed. It's not a big deal. Sometimes stuff happens, but hi to everybody who's tuning in on the live stream, including Saints fan, Super Bowl 09 says, Diamond Dogs are strong this year. Our success depends on how healthy our pitchers are in May and June. You're right. The healthy part of it is a big deal. No doubt about it. Jason said, here's one thing. Why can't they show baseball while basketball is only showing replays? What are you talking about? You're talking about what? The SEC network? Is that what we're talking about, Jason? I don't know. Baseball, say what you want. This is just the fact. Baseball really is sort of treated like, baseball really is sort of treated like the stepchild sort of the 3. Here, what's another way we could put it, JB? Now, this is one that some people may not even understand. It's been that long ago. Baseball is the Jan of the 3 Brady sisters. There was Marcia. There was Jan, there was Cindy. Okay, Marcia, the oldest, drop dead gorgeous, beautiful.
Yeah.
Cindy, the youngest, cute, little pigtails, bouncy blonde hair, cute.
Goofy.
Fun. And then in the middle is Jan. She's just Jan. Okay, in terms of how big box media treats college baseball in relation to football, basketball, okay? Whether it's ESPN or, frankly, even the SEC network to a degree this time of year. It's kind of like, they're kind of like Jan. And I don't know how or why. Because the facts are, the NCAA as a body, okay, as this governing body, the NCAA top 2 revenue streams are number 1, college basketball, obviously the college basketball tournament, and number 2, college baseball. You're like, wait a minute, man, hold on, time out. What? No, football. Here's the thing. The NCAA as a governing body gets $0 off college football, regular season or postseason. That money goes to conferences and schools. We don't have a tournament. You hear about bowl revenue, right? Well, in basketball, you're going and playing in the Sweet 16. That's an NCAA thing. All that money, all that ad money, all the partnership, all the venue, everything goes to the NCAA. It's an NCAA deal. If you go get a soft drink at the Sweet 16, you know what the cup says? NCAA. That's who's getting the money. But if you go to the Orange Bowl, you know, or the Tax Slayer Bowl, it's bowl revenue. Goes to the conference, then goes to the schools, divided up according to whatever conference you're in. The venue gets the money. They sell their own ads. TV does a deal with the conference. You know what I'm saying? So the NCAA's cut out on the football thing. That's just the truth of it. So in terms of money that goes to Indianapolis, basketball 1 in a big way. Number 2, college baseball. Yet, it gets the short end of the stick in every way possible from the NCAA and from media coverage to a degree, unless it's the College World Series. Now, having said that, to your point, who was it that said it? Jason on the live stream. Having said that, I became, and so did everybody else, so appreciative of the SEC network when it came along in 2014. Talked about it before. I'm repeating it. I'm a broken record here. Run it back. Football already had wall-to-wall coverage and exposure. The SEC network wasn't going to really add exposure and coverage. It was just simply going to change it, move it a little bit. The SEC network wasn't necessarily going to add coverage and exposure for men's basketball. It was just going to kind of change it, move it over here a little bit. But there ain't no question that the SEC network added coverage and exposure for SEC baseball. Big old audience for it, big fan bases for it in this league, the best league, baseball league in the country, the best stadiums and the most fans, period. Not close, SEC. And it added a level of coverage that it hadn't had before. It had the biggest impact on pushing baseball forward compared to the other sports. Does that make any sense at all? And
absolutely, man.
You know, I'll tell you also what I'm thankful for in regards to the SEC network and its coverage of baseball. And it's the fact that it's so mobile friendly. When it first came along in 2014, what did we call it, JB? It was like the Watch ESPN app or something like that. That's what it's called. So I'm talking about midweek games. Fans are walking around in their yard in March, you know, pulling weeds out of the flower bed, and they got their phones sitting over here with the baseball game going. You don't even have to be in front of a television to watch it. It's the best thing ever. And you go, well, Matt, you've always had radio. Yeah, you always have. And now what do we have? Now that has evolved into, you know, people like JB and Squirrel out on their back patio, and they have the game on SEC Network Plus streaming on their TV. They turn the volume down so you don't have to listen to Matt and Bart, and they turn the radio up on 105.9 The Zone so that they can hear Jim Ellis and sync it with the with the video, which I totally agree with. It's just so that I'm really thankful for that coverage. But baseball, in so many ways, gets the short end and all that.
That's why they only have 11.7 scholarships.
Yeah, allegedly. Look, I don't know. There's no way to frame it all up in one segment of radio, but JB, it goes deep, man.
I have a feeling, and I don't know why this is, but I have a feeling that I will become more educated on this in the near future.
Like that monkey who sat his tail on a railroad track.
It won't be long now.
It won't be long now. Yeah, okay, so cat out of the bag. I'm not making an announcement or anything, but to those who listen to this show, I will actually not be here tomorrow. And it's just one of those things, because kind of what JB's talking about, got a long-term project going on in regards to college baseball, and we got some work to do on that tomorrow. And that's where I'll be. I'll just say it, but I think in the end it'll all be worth it.
You want me to drive up and meet you?
Yeah.
I'd be glad to.
You can now because the roads are melted. Thank goodness.
There you go.
Yeah, baseball is different. You know, it goes very deep. I mean, and you've got the issue for a lot of men's sports that, you don't call it an issue, that Title IX injected into the conversation. The fact is, though, the Title IX stuff in so many ways is good. And it is a good idea in so many ways. And it's the right thing. You know, you making a way for women's sports. I like it. I agree with it. It's just that then on the men's side, well, because baseball is always treated like the stepchild, you know, it's got some rules and limitations on it that no other sport has. Roster size, not just scholarship limits, but just roster size. You know, in football, yeah, you got 85 scholarships, but if we want to have 50 guys walk on, we can do it. Bring them out here if you want to. I mean, now teams don't do that, but you could if you wanted to. There's no limit. Well, there's a limit. There's a hard limit on the just number of total players you can have in baseball. Other sports don't have that. Obviously, the scholarship deal. I mean, to compare it to softball, college softball, they give out 12 scholarships across 16 players. Baseball, you give out 11.7 across 27 players. So it's so uneven. Okay, and then again also, baseball, the only sport where different teams are playing with different rules. Let me pose a hypothetical question to you, JB. Answer this for me.
All right, man, I'm up for the challenge.
All right, answer this.
I was watching Chattanooga rake pretty good. That dude can hit.
Chardonnay.
Chardonnay,
that's what the guy on the text line said. Or he says Chardonnay. No, we're all wrong. Josh said Chardonnay.
Chardonnay. Okay, yeah, I saw that. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that's what he was
Chardonnay. We'll get it. We'll get it.
Yeah. Dude can rake.
Apparently so. He goes 3 doubles yesterday.
And he's from Texas. That had to feel good.
Yeah. Shot and yay. Shot and yay.
I thought he was talking about some kind of alcohol. That's why I didn't really pay attention to it.
Yeah. But anyway, all right, so here's a hypothetical for you. Egg Bowl. Football, Egg Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
In Starkville this coming year. Let's say Mississippi State beats Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl in Starkville.
All right.
Will Rogers throws for 3 touchdowns. And after the game, it comes out that Ole Miss was operating with the legal limit of 85 scholarship football players, but Mississippi State was playing with 89 scholarship football players. What if that news came out? How would everybody feel about that?
I would wonder who those extra 3 are.
How big a deal would it be? I'm talking about,
Yeah.
it would be national, like splattered all over the place.
Yeah.
Bulldogs.
They'd be talking, what do they call the old SMU?
Yeah.
You know.
The Pony Express.
Yeah,
and it would be like, it'd be penalties, it'd be lack of institutional control, it would be unfair, it'd be vacating the win, because during the week of the Egg Bowl, one team had 89 scholarships on its roster, and the other one had 85. It would be a massive stink. What about the Iron Bowl? Alabama-Auburn, the Crimson Tide versus the War Eagles led by new head coach Brian Harsin. And Brian Harsin, in his first year at Auburn, upsets top 5 Alabama in the Iron Bowl. And after the game, it comes out. Bama was legal. They had 85 scholarship players the week of the game. Auburn had 86. They are one scholarship player over the limit of 85. Do you know what a big deal this would be? What a stink Alabama would make of it?
All right, so I'm looking at an article, the value of college football scholarship from Forbes.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, this is dated 10 years ago, but it's pretty spot on. But the average value of a college football scholarship is in excess of $2 million for student athletes who play for a top 25 school and who would not have pursued a college degree if it weren't for their scholarship. $2 million. So you multiply that times 86 or 89.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, and baseball gets 11.7.
11.7. But here's the point. 2 years ago, in the last full college baseball season we had before the pandemic in 2019, Vanderbilt beat Michigan for the national championship. Vanderbilt, because they are a private school, has an opportunity fund. What do they call it? The Vanderbilt something another opportunity, yada, yada, yada. Need-based scholarship money. They're a private school. They can do all they want. So it's their money. They're private. It's their money. They can spend it however they want. And because of loopholes in NCAA rules, JB, the Vanderbilt baseball team not only uses the limit of 11.7 scholarships, athletic scholarships, and gives those out and pays that out to their players. But what else do they do? They also, for some, have academic scholarship money. They have good enough grades. Well, a lot of schools do that. But because of that need-based scholarship, whatever it's called, they dip in there and add that into what they offer their baseball team. So effectively, at Vanderbilt, they have a roster limit, according to the NCAA, of 30 baseball players, 27 scholarship players, and 8 walk-ons. But because of the need-based scholarship money, guess what Vanderbilt has? 30 players who are essentially on full scholarship. Every bit of it covered.
Mm-hmm.
Not one Vanderbilt baseball player.
They're the second highest school next to SMU right now, with the average award of scholarship at $44,645 a year.
They don't have a baseball player at Vanderbilt paying his own way. Okay? Whereas on the same level of competition, competing for the same trophy, recruiting the same kids, on that airplane that brought Ole Miss and State, there was one airplane, they were on the same plane coming back from Texas, Ole Miss and State's baseball team. I promise you, there's not one player between those two teams on full scholarship athletically. It ain't happening. And the only ones who even get close are the ones who are brilliant academically. I'm serious. I'm talking 30-something on the ACT. Learning more and more about it every day. But what I'm saying is no other sport has anything even remotely close to the scenario that baseball is put in. And listen, if you don't think there's a political part of this involved, then I got some more of this oceanfront property in Itawamba County I'd like you to take a look at. Absolutely, it's involved. And it's a catch-22. There are very few black players in baseball. In Major League Baseball in 1981, there was over 18% of Major League Baseball were black players in 1981. Over 18% in 81. You know what it was in 2019? 7%. It's dropped off by more than half. So what happens? I mean, is it trickle down or is it trickle up? Youth baseball, okay, to get noticed, how much does it cost to go get exposure in youth
more
baseball?
Than used to.
All right.
Well, I'll just tell you this. I sent you something. The odds in 2021 of a high school baseball player making any college roster is 8-1. The odds of a U.S. high school baseball player making an NCAA Division I roster, 47-1. Number of high school baseball players in 2019 and 2020, 512,213. Number of college baseball players, 61,000.
Yeah, 61,000.
So you're talking.
That's across all divisions. You know, okay, but here's the thing about it. Those players are not getting scholarship.
No.
Is it easier to get as an athlete? If you're any good at all, you don't even have to be an All-American in high school, JB. What's an easier way to get college paid for? Football, basketball, or baseball? Well, it's football, number one, basketball a distant two, and baseball you can't get it paid for, period. I don't care how good you are.
You got to have some other money coming in somewhere.
You better make at least a 27 in the ACT or have a daddy who's a dentist. That's it.
Or you better have a cannon stuck to the side of your arm.
Something. And then you get drafted and let them send you back to college when the minors don't work out 8 years later.
Yeah. Need to get Ben McDonald on sometime soon, man.
I agree. Your questions, your comments coming up. Y'all stick around.
There's a lot of noise when it comes to 5G.
We're 5G ready. We're 5G-ish.
At C Spire.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye Orange Juice. Easy, you can serve it in a minute. Thrifty, it will save you money. Orchard fresh and delicious.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Now, if you know your oats and want to feel your oats and taste how good an oat cereal can be, well, you'll go for Cheerios. Great way to start the day with really great eating. That's Cheerios, one of the few foods made from oats. The tasty cereal grain everyone should have at breakfast. Crisp and golden as only a toasted oat cereal can be. And nourishing? Why, a Cheerios breakfast gives you the power protein that grown-ups need to help stay in trim and youngsters need to grow on. Toasted oat goodness, toasted oat flavor, a delicious power breakfast. That's Cheerios.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth. Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth. Freeze Meadow Gold.
And remember, folks, Meadow Gold is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jello instant pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jello instant pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jello instant pudding, made by the famous Jello folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jello instant pudding.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt. Just answer the questions. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Answer the questions. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online.
All right, back with you. There is some breaking news out here apparently in the sports world right now, this very minute.
I guess other than the fact that our live stream is down, if people are wondering.
Yeah, it's not that. According to reports, also according to Fox News, local news outlets in the Los Angeles area, Tiger Woods has been injured in a car crash in Ranchos Palos Verdes, however you say that, Verdes, at an intersection of Hawthorne Boulevard near Black Horse Road. I bet you Hawthorne Boulevard near Black Horse Road has never been Google Earthed more than it is right now at this very moment. But here's the thing. This is scary. It says fire crews had to use the jaws of life to get him out of his vehicle.
And he had just recently, or he either was going to, has had another back surgery.
So he'd had another back surgery, which has caused him to miss a couple of tournaments here.
Yeah.
And coming up. And am I right, JB? I'd seen some stuff that said even right now this back surgery had put it into question of whether or not he was going to be able to go and play in the Masters.
Yeah, because he's got a lot of the same similar issues that I have dealt with over my life. And,
okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. Just pray he's okay. That's the main thing.
You know, and you just pray he's okay because, look, you know, what you hope is that it's not some other health issue that forced him into being medicated in a state of where he shouldn't have been driving. Of course, anybody can have an accident, but when it's a celebrity like that, you always try to start. Sometimes our minds wander, and I guess I shouldn't do that. I certainly hope he's okay also. But, you know, I mean, my goodness, the report says he is injured. We don't know the extent, but they had to use the jaws of life to get him out of the car. Gracious. So if anything pops up in the old Twitter sphere here, I'll let you know. If y'all see something, let me know if it's legit. And we'll update you on that. Tiger Woods in a car accident. All right. Over here, let's backtrack now. Back on the baseball and other topics from the earlier in the show on the Country Pleasing text line. It's 885-ESPN 601 number 885-ESPN or 885-3776. He goes, Matt. Let's see. Unnamed texter said, Matt, did you see the freshman for Florida Atlantic hit 2 grand slams in his first 2 college at bats in the same inning? Are you kidding me? Freshman college baseball player, 2 grand slams in his first 2 at bats of his career, and it was in the same inning. Good. Not who are they playing? Kid's name is Caleb Pendleton. Former Major League Baseball player Fernando Tatis made history in 1999 by hitting 2 grand slams in the same inning. He was the first MLB player to accomplish that feat. FAU freshman catcher Caleb Pendleton nearly duplicated it But it was even better because it was his first 2 at-bats of his career. That is just unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, truth is stranger than fiction. It almost always is. Frank says, make sure that Nickelback knows that Chardonnay has a pulled hamstring and is day to day. Okay, so that's what the injury was. Thanks, Frank. We saw that in the note that the SEC sent out for Baseball Players of the Week. There's a note there that Peyton Chardonnay of Ole Miss is the co-player of the week alongside Wes Clark from South Carolina. And it noted, okay, he hit .455 on the weekend. His best game was yesterday against Texas. He goes 3 for 4 at the plate with 3 doubles. But that was before he exited the game due to injury. And we just didn't know what the injury was. So, pulled hamstring, unfortunately, those, depending on the severity, bad ones can just nag and nag and nag and nag for a long time. If it's not bad, maybe he can get through it and be himself again. He's definitely on the all-name team. We do know that. Law Dog says, what's that, JB?
He's got a teammate that may have the best baseball name in the state. Derek Diamond. Number
Diamond.
3 pitcher for the Rebels.
Yeah. It's either a great baseball name or sounds like he's in a movie with Mark Wahlberg. One or the other. Law Dog says, baseball season, what a great time of the year. I love it that Mississippi State and Ole Miss are starting out so well. They're starting out well. Long haul. White Denzel says, Jim Ellis calling Ole Miss a Little League team yesterday during the baseball game was hilarious. It made it better that Coach Polk had to tell Jim that it wasn't a Little League team, it was Ole Miss. Well, look, okay, a lot is being made out of that, and I heard the clip. My friend Caleb sent me a clip of when that happened during the broadcast. So they're out in Texas, State's playing, Texas Tech or whoever it was. Jim Ellis doing play-by-play. He's got Ron Polk on the broadcast with him. And the clip, there's a foul ball down the third base side, in this Major League Park. Well, and you could see it on the broadcast. The teams that were going to play next are sitting all over the place. Well, Ole Miss was apparently sitting together down there. Well, the thing is, you're in this Major League Park at Globe Life Field, and Jim is like on the 8th floor. Okay? He's a long way from the field level down there. And he can see they're all in uniform, but in his defense, if he doesn't have his binoculars up, he doesn't know that's a college team, and all you see is a bunch of guys down there dressed the same. They look like little ants to him down there from the 8th floor in the press box anyway. And so he thought, well, maybe there's a Little League team down there. Well, but it was not a direct shot at Ole Miss, nor meant to be. It's just the way that it happened. But by all means, giggle if you want, I guess. Rebel Rex says, I've come a long way from hoping you were the Jefferson Pilot game on Saturday morning. No doubt about it, Rebel Rex. And we enjoyed having that back then. It was great to have 11 a.m. games every Saturday morning, right? And I enjoyed the Jefferson Pilot coverage of college basketball and SEC basketball back in the day. But we certainly have it better now.
Sorry. I didn't realize my mic was hot. I was reading that next text. From Jared.
From Jared. Jared says, there's rarely any shot and yay in my golf game, but I'll keep swinging. Shot and yay. Jared, we were trying our best to come up with something for that a while ago, and you nailed it. That was good. Trip says, Georgia and LSU did the same thing with the Life and Hope scholarships. That's right. What is it? Okay, LSU they have 2 of them. It's the TOPS deal, but then they have one that's like the Pelican Fund. And still, even with that, LSU still is at a disadvantage in terms of what Vanderbilt can offer players. I mean, it's so imbalanced in baseball, college baseball, as compared to any other sport. It's just laughable, the situation that the NCAA has set up. Yeah, in Georgia, you have the Hope Scholarship. Florida has the Bright Futures deal. I mean, no joke. It's a huge reason for the success of Florida Gators baseball is the Bright Futures program they have. So they're sort of working around the 11.7 scholarships. They're doing it totally legally because the NCAA allows it. It's legal. I mean, you can't blame them. But it's why they have a lot of success. It's why they have number one recruiting classes. They can get guys in school, recruit them, and tell you, hey, man, you know, you go to State or Ole Miss, you're going to have to come out of your pocket some. Even with that 27, you're still going to have to come out of your pocket some. You come here, we got it covered. Here's how we're going to do it. Bright futures. It's different at different places. It's like you got 300 baseball playing schools out there in college baseball, and you got 300 different scholarship situations. You don't have that in any other sport. Sean says, if I remember correctly, I've heard Jake Mangum say he was not on scholarship his senior year. I want you to think about this now. You have a sport that has so little scholarship that it can legally offer players, especially depending on what state you're in. Alabama and Auburn have it even worse in terms of baseball, what they can't do. It's part of the reason so many players from Alabama come to State and Ole Miss instead of Alabama and Auburn. Okay? But here we go. Back to Jake Mangum. You got so little and he's such a good player that you got a program that really is sort of thinking Jake's going to get on out of here after his junior year. Okay, so we don't have to necessarily plan for him to take up part of our 11.7 scholarships. So the all-time hits leader in the conference paying his own way his last year. Think about that. It's absurd. And then, so the situation is what it is in regards to scholarship. So do this. Ask why. Why baseball? Why baseball? Well, I hate to tell you, part of the reason why baseball is a three-headed monster. It's mostly boys. It's all boys, okay, first of all. Men, guys. It's mostly wealthy. And it's mostly white. Plays a big role in why baseball.
I think you were spot on there. Just more update on what you came back with at the top of the hour in the last 15 seconds of this segment. Tiger Woods has been hospitalized with those injuries sustained in a one-car accident.
Okay, good. One car. Hope he's okay. All right. Y'all stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta.
True? Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, and at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com a couple weeks ago. Went in, I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep a couple weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's virtual tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own. Bet you never thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use this code
Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too. Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold.
And remember, folks, Meadow Gold is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jello instant pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jello instant pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jello instant pudding, made by the famous Jello folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jello instant pudding.
To get back to our little talk.
Right here on the Matt Wyatt Show.
All right, back with you. Rolling along here, hour 2 of the show in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team reminding you, get yourself some Blue Delta jeans. You will never, ever, ever put on a better fitting, better feeling pair of pants, let alone jeans made out of real denim. You will never have any that feel better, fit better than you'll get from Blue Delta. Check it out, BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use my name as a code to get a discount. Use code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, no spaces, Matt Wyatt. Get a discount, 10% discount on your purchase at BlueDeltaJeans.com. As JB mentioned to you, this is from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. And in fact, for those that are on the stream, I'll see here if I can't put it up here on the screen for you so that you can see it if you're watching the live stream. Yeah, there it is. On February 23rd, 2021, that's today, at about 7 a.m., Los Angeles Sheriff's Department responded to a single vehicle rollover traffic collision on the border of Rolling Hills Estates and Rancho Palos Verdes. The vehicle was traveling northbound on Hawthorne Boulevard at Black Horse Road when it crashed. The vehicle sustained major damage. The driver and sole occupant was identified as PGA golfer Tiger Woods. Mr. Woods was extricated from the wreck with the jaws of life by Los Angeles County firefighters and paramedics, then transported to a local hospital by ambulance with his injuries. The traffic investigation is being conducted by investigators from LASD, Lomita Station. So there you go.
I just tagged you on a tweet that has a picture of the car.
Okay. All right. All right, here it is. Let's see. Okay, there it is. Presumed to be the shot of Tiger Woods' car after being involved in a single car accident in L.A. Pictures are really small, aren't they? But I'm seeing it there. It's on its side. Yeah. Okay, so it's just off the road. You know, Jaws alive kind of tells you all you need to know, doesn't it, JB? I mean, like as far as, you know, the severity of the the crash.
That,
so
that one picture looks like you've got the EMTs and doing some stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's looks like a Range Rover.
Yeah. Whew. Scary stuff, man.
That's a long way to fall.
It's a long way. So yeah, we didn't fall asleep, but hope he's okay. He says he's at the hospital, so hopefully he's okay. No question, that's going to dominate your news and your sports news and those kinds of things here going forward. All right, y'all can be a part of the show. I hope you will be. Feel free to comment on the live stream. Hey to y'all if you're tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. Also, feel free to text or call. Call me on the Divinity phone, 995-1059. For those who sometimes want to tune into the stream on 1059 The Zone, we're told that's back up and working again. Text me on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-ESPN. That's a 601 number, 885-ESPN, or 885-3776. Feel free to text the show. Love to hear from you that way. On the Country Pleasing text line, Country Pleasing Sausage, on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. I yesterday opened a new package of the blueberry maple and blueberry flavor. And so that's what I had yesterday and today for breakfast. Unnamed texter says that you didn't have near the Latino players in the 80s. Okay, so I gave you that stat that in 1981, in Major League Baseball, black players represented over 18% of Major League Baseball in 81. In 2019, it was 7%. And somebody says, yeah, well, you didn't have nearly the Latino players. And you didn't. The stat that I heard here recently, I think it was 2019. It was either 18 or 19, but recent. 22% of Major League Baseball players were Dominican. That's 22%. And then it said, and that goes up by 2% every year. Okay, so yes, it's, demographics or...
Well, those Latino players aren't going to college.
For the most part, no.
Yeah, they're going straight to the minors and the major leagues.
That's right. For the most part, that's right. However, JB, just as an experiment, if you were to look, and I looked this up because State's playing Jackson State in baseball this week.
Right.
And they were going to play today and tomorrow, but things got moved around, so now they're just playing one game tomorrow.
Right.
Jackson State will go to Starkville. If you look at the Jackson State baseball roster.
Yep. I know what you're fixing to say, pal.
Let's see. Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Hold on. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. They've got 6 players on their roster from Puerto Rico. Okay. They've got a ton of players from Florida, but you got 6 players on the Jackson State baseball roster from Puerto Rico. You have a bunch from Mississippi, and most of the players on the JSU roster from Mississippi are African-American kids.
Well, you have the same in a lot of SWAC schools. I remember when Coach Shanks was at Valley. He got a lot of Latino players from South Texas, South Florida, and in some of the Latin American countries.
Yeah.
So I pulled up their roster, and they have 6 guys on their roster currently that are from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
About 10 from Florida and about 7 from Texas.
Yeah.
South Texas.
Yeah. And there are a lot of, like, if you look at some of the better SWAC baseball rosters over the years, there's a bunch of white kids playing baseball at SWAC schools.
Oh, yeah.
Because they can get those minority scholarships, okay? And it's an advantage for the coaches and the programs because, they're able to basically supplement their scholarship limits that they have in Division I AA or FCS type stuff, if you were looking at it, football. But, yeah, so a lot of the HBCUs don't have, not only they don't have fully African-American baseball rosters. I mean, it's only partial at many of them. And again, what happened, it's a competitive thing, is, you the more restrictions and limitations you put on coaches and programs at any level, okay, the more they're going to find the workarounds to be competitive and hopefully win. Because the coaches out there, they don't care, the player they're recruiting, they don't care the color of the skin, where they're from, if it's Puerto Rico, if it's Columbia, Mississippi. Can he win me a ball game? Then let's see how we can get him here. It's a competitive thing. It's everybody trying to find workarounds. And so all in the world it does. It's like, at the highest level, the NCAA level, and they put all these stipulations and limitations on baseball to, appease Title IX stuff, or to try to, they're going so far to try to inject this equality throughout it, that all in the world it does is it just limits and cuts off and chokes off opportunities for people to go play baseball. I mean, if you're a kid right now, and let's say you are from an inner city, or your family just doesn't have money, you're from a relatively poor family, but as a young kid, you love baseball, you want to play it, right? You'd love to go play college baseball. Well, that's all well and good. But unless you could figure out some way to go make a 30 on the ACT and get your college at some place totally paid for by academics, frankly, not only do you have no shot at being able to spend the kind of money that it takes to be on a travel team to go out here and get exposure, but also, not only can you not afford the equipment, but you get no shot to get your college paid for with baseball. None. Not unless you're like the 0.5% of people out here that are so good you're going to get drafted out of high school, forego college altogether, go straight to the minor leagues. Maybe you make it to the majors, but if you don't, that major league organization will pay for your college education. You come back and get it. That's a part of your contract. Otherwise, you got no shot. However, if you're a pretty decent athlete and you love football enough that you'll stay dedicated and stay out of trouble, you can get your college paid for playing football. And you may not play at Oregon or Ohio State or Mississippi State or Ole Miss, but you might play 2 years at Hines, paid for, football. And then you may go to MC and play your last 2 years at MC on a football scholarship, paid for. Seriously. I mean, there are kids' flag football teams right now all around us that every player on that team can get all of their college paid for with football at different levels. You can't find me a youth baseball team anywhere, even the best travel team, that all of them are going to get their college paid for with baseball. No, they're going to pay it. Pay for it to go play at Alabama or State or Ole Miss. To some degree, that's the world. That wraps up hour 2. If you leave us, have a great night. If not, stick around for hour 3. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau studio. Stay with us.
Warm weather is
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, and at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com a couple weeks ago. Went in,
I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep a couple of weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's virtual tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own.
Bet you never thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better.
So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too. Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth. Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth. Freeze Meadow Gold.
And remember, folks, Meadow Gold is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jello instant pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jello instant pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jello instant pudding, made by the famous Jello folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jello instant pudding.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding whether you cook it over a fire or in the house. Cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor. You see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasing.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country pleasing sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me.
Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max. Got it at C Spire. Went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out. Okay. And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages.
Moving there, moving to start. We're going to live there full time. Let them help you. Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. But even if you're not moving there, maybe you go into town for ball games. You need a place to stay one weekend or 5 or 10. A condo that's yours when you come into town. Leasing an apartment if you're a student. Anything regarding a place to stay or live in Starkville, that's where you want to go first. Trust me on that. You can find the contact info at overstreetproperties.com. Tell them I sent you. All right, here we go. Hour 3, sort of the casserole hour has been. We do have news to track about this, what looks like a horrible car accident that Tiger Woods has been in and has had to go to surgery. I saw this. Now, this is Bob Herrig. He's in Florida. He's a writer for ESPN. He covers golf for ESPN at espn.com/golf. His tweet said, Tiger was in this California car crash this morning. His agent says he suffered multiple leg injuries and is in surgery. Okay, so in terms of any report or any kind of information out there close to it, this is someone who writes for ESPN who has apparently had contact with Tiger Woods' agent who told him he's in surgery, multiple leg injuries. Now, we don't know what the injuries are, but you're having surgery, it's serious, period. No question about it. And I'll try to keep you posted. With that said, what I'm going to do now is jump back into some of the baseball stuff. We talked a lot of baseball in the first couple of hours of the show. We can continue that now, but really anything's on the table this hour. So y'all hit us up. Text me on the Country Pleasin' text line, Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. It's the best. Trust me on that. When you try it, you'll see why I'm that way. There's no junk in Country Pleasin' sausage, no parts that go into the making. Okay? It's hand-picked hams, bacons, pork loins. They're smokers that they have at Country Meat Packers, Highway 49 Florence, custom made for them. They are not cookie cutter. It's just for their process. It's really an incredible operation. They don't use hickory like chips or sawdust. It's hickory logs that they split on site every day that go into their smokers. It's why it tastes the way it does. The spices for the different flavors, they mix them on site by hand every day. It's just one of a few reasons why it's the best. Country Pleasin' text line. Somebody asked us earlier, they said, is there any idea if Ron Polk is going to do color on the radio all year? My understanding is that he's going to fill in for Jay Powell in games when Jay can't be there. Jay is coaching baseball at Jackson Prep. You know, he obviously can't make all the games, but the ones he can make, he's going to be there. Former Major Leaguer, World Series winner, former first-round draft pick on the mound for State. Great guy, coaching at Prep. But he can't be at all of them, and so some of the games when he can't be there, Coach Polk is going to step up into the booth and fill in for him. That's what I'm told. Let's see. Jay in Baltimore, Texas, and he said, Matt, can you give a grade on Coach Ron Polk's radio broadcast? I know you have a high standard for this, but as a baseball fan, it was a pure treasure. No, I wouldn't dare step up here and grade it, and didn't get to hear all of it, obviously. A lot of my consumption of the baseball games this weekend was online, had it on the phone or on the tablet, muted while I was doing some other things. And then at other times I'd turn the radio on, listen to Jim, and did get to hear Coach Polk some. And, you know, it's just what you would expect. It's just entertaining. You know, you could get Jim and Coach Polk up there talking about, I don't know, the stock market. And in between plays, talking about stuff, I'd still listen because it'd be entertaining. But yeah, I'm like you, Jay. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a real treat to get to hear some of that. Micah in Batesville says, is State playing a doubleheader tomorrow or just one game? And what time is that game? It's my understanding that it's one game at 4 o'clock tomorrow on Wednesday. If that's any different, y'all let me know. But that's my understanding is State's playing one game tomorrow, 4 o'clock, hosting Jackson State tomorrow on Wednesday. All right, let's jump over to the Davini Equipment phone. Thibodeau hanging on. Thanks for calling, Thibodeau. What's up?
Hey, man, I got a point I want to make about baseball scholarships and then a question for you. The point is, number one, I agree with you. It's ridiculous to think that it's that limited to certain schools and other schools have a workaround. But the point I have is I could be way off when I say this, but this is just me on the outside looking in. I think it's just pure laziness on the NCAA's part, because what they've told us for years now is that, well, we have to do this to baseball to make it fairness across the board. Well, all these years have gone by, and it's just been this way for this long. Have you not made any attempt to try to think smarter about it and figure this out? Because I'm with you. You're limiting the opportunity for kids in lots of different backgrounds to have a shot at getting something paid for because they're only really, really good in one sport.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, so now the question I have is, I'm about 2 to 3 years behind you in age, so we're not far apart.
Okay.
And baseball for me stopped the year that you would transition from city league ball to like 9th grade. So I don't have any idea what travel ball is. I don't have kids, you know, and none of my nieces or nephews got involved. So I've never really understood the purpose for travel ball, where it came from, and why it's blossomed and blown up in this have to do it thing.
Yeah.
Like, how come we couldn't just go from 6 years old to 8th grade playing city league baseball, and if you're good, you make the All-Stars and play throughout the summer, to trying out for the high school team?
Yeah. Oh, boy. Thibodeau, it's your question is so appropriate, and it's sort of like opening a wound, I think, for a lot of people. But, yeah, I don't know either. I didn't, you know, I was not of the age when travel ball type stuff existed. But I've got friends who have kids who, you know, are involved in it. I've not followed it closely enough to really understand the ins and outs. I just know that, and I guess I should clarify, I've never felt like it was just this entirely negative thing. Like this is just, it's one of the, it's a drawback to American society that, you know, kids in families with means get together and pay all these thousands of dollars to go travel all over and play baseball all year. It is what it is. It's a free country. People can do what they want to do. But Thibodeau, look, the thing about it is that kind of stuff, okay, and the advancement and the training year round for that, it's just one of the issues with the sport at the like ground base level. Just like you said, you know, that you used to just play Little League or Babe Ruth or American Legion or Cal Ripken League or Dixie Youth or whatever league you were in your town. And then you moved up and you went out for the high school team. The high school had tryouts and they put the best players on the team, you know, and then the best players would either get to go to college and a couple of them every now and then get drafted out of high school. That's just kind of how it all used to happen. And it was open to really anyone. Now it's just it's not quite that way. I mean, it's sort of open to anyone at the high school level to a degree, but I think if you look at the best schools, the best high school baseball programs out there, and they're loaded up with guys who they play baseball all summer, all year long on travel teams, you know.
I think when you look at high school and the aspect of trying out, I think the travel ball has limited that because these high school coaches they can fill out their roster with travel ball guys without ever holding a tryout.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
The guys that don't play travel ball and they're like, you know what, I didn't have the means and the ways to go do that, but I'm good enough. If that coming, I'm going to go try out. They might miss a spot because the roster's full. I mean, if I was a high school coach, I'd have it figured out before tryout.
Yeah.
I mean, make it easier on me.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
No, I see what you're saying. And you're right. It's such a different time. You know, if I were to tell you, Thibodeau, kind of my own personal experience, you mentioned how old we are. Okay. So I was in high school in the early to midnight. I graduated high school in May of 95. All right. And this is,
I was May of 98. So.
Okay. So, you know, we're pretty much the same time frame. And
bunch of rookies.
Yeah, we really are rookies. But then, okay, I went to a 6A high school in Alabama back when they only had 6 classifications. Prattville High School. It's a big school with a lot of people. Well, look, I'll be honest with you. Even in a school our size, and we had hundreds of kids in a graduating class, even in a school our size, the baseball team was a bunch of the same guys who were on the basketball team, was a bunch of the same guys who we all played football. Okay, and the only reason all those football players weren't on the baseball and basketball teams is because we didn't have that. You didn't have that big a team. Okay, does that make sense? And so, like, half of our baseball team at Prattville High School were black kids. Okay, but you know, even at that time, it wasn't even like a deal of black kid, white kid. It's just these are the kids who are the best ball players at our school, and we all played everything. Marlon Anderson is a guy that I got to play with in high school, who went to South Alabama, played a couple of years of college baseball, goes to the pros. He had a 10, 11, 12-year career for about 5 or 6 different teams in Major League Baseball. Marlon was our shortstop in high school, left-handed hitter, could do anything. His younger brother I played with, a guy named Keto Anderson, who didn't go to college. He got drafted right out of high school and never made it to the majors. But, you know, I guess what I'm saying is Marlon Anderson, who wound up playing in Major League Baseball that I played high school baseball with, Thibodeau, he was a highly recruited football player. Marlon was a defensive back and receiver kind of guy. Marlon set some kind of record in high school football in Alabama at that time for block kicks. Like, nobody could block him off the edge. He'd go block a kick whenever he wanted to. He was a great football player, but he loved baseball so much that he went to South Alabama, partial scholarship stuff, has jobs and saves up money to get through school, takes loans to get it, and it worked out for him because then he makes it in pro baseball. You think about those stories are so rare. That stuff's not happening now, and it ain't going to happen anymore with baseball. Those stories,
right?
That's a thing of the past. It does not happen because what you and I are talking about. I don't know that it's a right or wrong thing, but and Thibodeau, I know you've got a point to make. I'm talking your ears off on this subject, but it's near and dear to me. I'm not going to tell you who, but I'm pulling out my phone right now and looking back at a text message exchange I had with a buddy of mine who I played college football with, in fact. Okay, it's a friend of mine. We were teammates. He's a black guy, and he's got 2 young boys that are great ball players. And we were texting back and forth today about his kids having given up baseball. I knew they were great baseball players, but also great football and basketball players, so young kids. Well, his boys have decided they're not playing baseball. And we were talking about why and all this kind of stuff. I'm just going to read you a part of our text exchange here towards the end of it. He said, yeah, we were probably out of $750 to play for a year and travel for about 12 to 13 tournaments. Yearly cost we estimated with travel was about $2,000 to $2,500 a year. This is talking about playing travel baseball stuff. He said, we played with the Tupelo Rangers, and that's probably the cheapest you're going to get to play competitively on a good team. And then he said this, we have friends paying double or triple what we paid. He goes, whereas they can come play football with me. He coaches a youth football 7-on-7 team. He goes, whereas they can come play football with me, I charge the parents $100. They purchase their own helmet. 7-on-7 competition is $150. He goes, where do you think the majority of the black kids are going to go? And he's exactly right. And what I said is, here's the thing about that. They buy their own helmet and they have to pay $150 to get into as a whole, the 7-on-7 tournament. Here's the thing about it. Those kids, every single one of them on that 7-on-7 team, Thibodeau, if they just love football and stay out of trouble, every one of them can get their college education totally paid for because of football.
Yeah.
At varying levels. And some of them that are really good, like his son, are going to play D1, but the rest of them, you get 2 years of JUCO, and you get 2 years at Louisiana Monroe, and all 4 years you get a degree paid for because of football. That opportunity does not exist even for the best youth baseball players.
Yeah. Yeah, I was listening when you made that point a little earlier, and that's kind of why I wanted to call is, when I think back to all that City League ball that I played, the thing I loved the most about it was the diversity involved in it.
Same.
Like, when we sat in the dugout or when we were at practice, we were all the same. We were ball players. And I feel like the diversity has been pulled out of it, and the excitement to me is not there. I might think differently if I had a child that was playing the sport, and I might try to be as all in as I could. But looking back on it, and this could be the old man wanting people to get off my lawn coming out at me, but it's not. I don't think it's the way it was meant to be.
Well,
I feel like youth sports was meant to be all inclusive until you got to where you had to make teams,
right.
Which was high school and that sort of thing. But, I don't see it the same way anymore. And to me, that's kind of a shame.
Yeah, I agree with you. And again, we go back to our age. We're old guys, Thibodeau. But, when I was a kid.
Watch your mouth.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, look, the gray in my beard says it all.
Says it all, yeah.
Yeah, the gray and the baldness of my head says the rest.
Yeah. If you're bald, what am I? Holy cow. Okay, but the point being, yeah, exactly. The point being, when I was a kid, the superhero in the sport of baseball, like the level that somebody did it, but it'll never be reached again. Everything is judged against this. It is the superhero level of baseball, was Hank Aaron. Okay, an African-American guy from Mobile, Alabama. Okay, that was him. All right, then, and he had played before I didn't get to watch him play, but I only read about him as if he was some sort of mythical figure, right? Well, then I grow up watching Tony Gwynn do what he did. Okay, the greatest hitter in my lifetime, the greatest hitter of his generation, Tony Gwynn. Nobody could get him out.
Same.
All right, so I'm watching this guy, Tony Gwynn, and learning about him and realizing, okay, he's an African-American guy from San Diego who went to San Diego State on a full basketball scholarship. That's how he could afford to go play baseball in college, was because he was a great basketball player and was a starting point guard, all conference on the basketball team. So people don't realize Tony Gwynn wasn't on a baseball scholarship because there wasn't one available to him at San Diego State. Thankfully, he was a great basketball player too. So it really goes, way back. But here's one I don't know what the answers are, Thibodeau. I really don't. I don't know if there is an answer, but I do know this. Major League Baseball has a problem on its hands, a real problem on its hands. And if there is any trickle-down effect, it's already done it, in that decision makers in the NCAA have decided that baseball is a dispensable sport, or at least it's being treated that way. Therefore, the places where it's really surviving and thriving is because they have coaches or administration who just love baseball, with fan bases who love baseball. They're all figuring out workarounds around the existing NCAA stipulations in college. And unfortunately, the workaround is our only chance is to recruit players who are way up the charts academically, and or their families have plenty of money. That's the workaround for the coaches and the programs who want to win, and they have no choice to do it because of the NCAA rules. Thibodeau, I appreciate your call, man. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
You too. You do the same. Our man Thibodeau. Country Pleasing text line. Somebody said that they thought Jake Mangum paid his own way through school his last 2 or 3 years. May have. It may have. People are sending us pictures that are popping up on the internet of the Tiger Woods stuff. Multiple leg injuries, currently in surgery. Man, awful. Had to get him out of the car in the jaws of life. Those of you who texted us those pictures, thank you. Let's see, Fuji Sports Shooter. Oh, today we got an opener, Hartfield home opener versus Bayou Academy at 4:30 today. All right. Tee it up.
You get a chance, check that a text message from Jables. That's from a former, not only state championship player, but also a high school coach that won multiple state championships.
Okay. All right, here it is. All right, from a former multi-state champ high school player and coach. Travel ball started as a moneymaker and the myth that college coaches could see more kids during summer than spring because both are playing. But now it's about money and supposedly more eyeballs. But no matter what, college coaches are going to talk to high school coach before any decision is made. Travel ball is sad, says this texter. He says, Iran. There's a typo in there.
Iran, if the first words of a parent said on the day of tryout was, "My son plays travel ball."
Oh, I see. He's like, I'm out. You need to go see that guy. Yeah. Thanks for the info.
Yeah.
Rolling along in hour 3. Y'all stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding whether you cook it over a fire or in the house. Cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor. You see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasing.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country pleasing sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me. Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if you know who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you.
Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Design a jean. And before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown.
Nice hair!
It's the Matt Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone and worldwide online at The Zone, 1059.com.
All right, back with you. Farm Bureau Studio, Farm Bureau, go with the home team. Reminding you to get a discount, go over to BlueDeltaJeans.com. If you've never put on a pair of custom fit, one size fits one jeans from Blue Delta, you're missing out. Try it. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use code Matt Wyatt. That's my name, all lowercase, no spaces. Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Get a 10% discount on your purchase at BlueDeltaJeans.com. And I have a virtual tailor. You just go in there and type in and answer the questions they ask you. They're going to show up and fit. I'm wearing the ones I got from them. Did that online, the online order, typed it all in. They fit perfectly. Try it out yourself. Let's see here. Jackson Mailman texted the show, and he said, during the game yesterday, there was a foul ball. Yeah, we talked about this, foul ball. Yeah, foul ball was hit down the left side there. Ole Miss team was down there sitting on the foul line or up the third base side. And Jim Ellis is in the broadcast booth, like, 8 levels up, however far they were. And he said, there's a ball team down there. I wonder if we got a little league team. And Coach Polk said, no, that's Ole Miss. But you couldn't tell. I guarantee you couldn't tell. Like, look like little ants down there, unless you look through binoculars. Louvier says scholarships for good students are very common in the baseball team also. And you're right. Now try this on for size. Okay? Let me just give you an example. Talk about how just like jacked up the scholarship and grant and aid stuff is in baseball in terms of what the NCAA allows. This whole 11.7, and some schools have big workarounds and others don't, whether they're private or public, according to their endowments and according to what their universities will allow academically to get people in to benefit baseball or not. Every school is different. Vanderbilt, private school. They've got the opportunity thing, the need-based scholarship money. They got basically 30 guys on full scholarship at Vandy. Nobody else has that. But listen, because of that, and teams like State wanting to keep up, trying to keep up. So State, for instance, they go out and they find the best players they can find who also have really high ACT scores, which helps them to add academic money in there to get their college paid for so they don't have to come as much out of their pocket if they have really high ACT scores. So there have been recent recruiting classes at Mississippi State whose collective ACT scores were higher than the teams at Vanderbilt. It's a true story. Louvier says, Thibodeau poses an often asked question about travel ball. The answer is the same as it is for AAU basketball. The money generated by these endeavors is so great that it's not ever going to go away. And Louvier, I wonder where we are in terms of 7-on-7 football, right? In a lot of ways, 7-on-7 football is kind of the new iteration, the football version, if you will, of travel ball, of AAU basketball. It is. In some ways. Kyle, he texted the show and said, I promised my wife we would never play travel ball. Told everybody that was playing it that they were ruining sports. I was wrong. Now I have 2 kids playing in 2 different cities. Let's see here. Anthony from Tupelo says, at Tupelo High School, he says they are almost, if not 100%, Ranger or Titan travel ball players. Softball is about the same way. My daughter made the softball team. Head coach told me, even though she made the team, that he doubted she would ever get to play because she didn't play travel ball growing up. That's tough. That stinks. It really does. If that's true, that really stinks. All right, Chris on the Davini Equipment phone line. Chris, thanks for calling. What's up?
What's up, Matt?
Hey, good to hear from you.
First things first. My favorite, I tried the blueberry and maple.
Yes.
And I also tried the 3 cheese this weekend. My favorite is the 3 cheese. That's some good sausage.
Let me tell you, it is some good sausage. I agree with you. I think most people that have had country pleasing like jalapeno and cheddar, which I love, it's probably my number one, the maple and a lot of different flavors. If they try either the 3 cheese or the black pepper and cheese flavors, they're going to come away with a really hard time telling you which one's their favorite. It's that good. I agree with you.
Okay, so hot take Monday.
All right.
State just went and played 3 top teams in the nation. I'm not going to say they're top 10 because I don't know if any of those teams are going to end up in the top 10. But they didn't have 2 of their best starters. Ole Miss swept the weekend. And what did Arkansas do?
They swept 3-0.
Okay, so The SEC come out of there 8-1.
Right.
So Hot Take Monday, I sent it as a text on Bose. Hot take is that there will be 6 SEC teams in the College World Series this year.
Yeah. Well,
there will be 6. There will be 6 SEC top 8 national seeds.
Wow, 6 of the top 8. So
and you can. So I will give you the 2. I will give you the top 4 out of each side. Well, the top 4 in the SEC. The 2 Mississippi teams, Vanderbilt and Florida. You can fill in from wherever you want to there. I think Arkansas is in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know about LSU because I don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you take the top 6 teams in the SEC and they beat up on everybody else in the SEC, it's going to be really hard for the committee to say, oh, well, we can't put them, we can't make them national seeds.
Right.
Because I think that I don't, and I said this before, I think that State's going to the College World Series because I think they have some of the best pitching in the nation, and that's even including Vandy. We've seen 5th or 6th starters that would be down the depth chart pitch this weekend and win and do good. Now, yesterday was a crap show because we walked so many people, but we still won.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe it, like the offense was going to do great this year. But I think that we're going to have a 20-run home run guy this year.
Ooh.
And I think it's going to be Luke Hancock.
Well, I tell you, he looked confident in that DH role. And I am not at all the analytics guy in baseball that a lot of people can look. But I know just there's something to the naked eye in Luke's swing. It's not a drastic change. No, there's no drastic difference in him from previous years to this. But I almost would guarantee you, Chris, there's some baseball people that would watch and slow down his swing and look at that on video and go, yeah, he's got his barrel in the strike zone longer. He's
hey, how about
flatten that thing out a little bit, and man, it sure worked for him. Hey, you got about 20 seconds. Got to go quick.
Last thing. What about Jim Ellis and Ron Polk? I love that. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Jim's comment, and I won't say what it is on the radio because I'm pretty sure that would start up a big argument. But y'all have a good day.
All right, you too, Chris. I think we touched on it earlier today. Appreciate the call. Good to hear from you. All right, little ways to go. We'll wrap things up with you next here in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau studio. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding whether you cook it over a fire or in the house. Cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor. You see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasing.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country pleasing sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me. Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right
there's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
Radio analyst. And he's on your radio
right now.
You got the Matt Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone and online at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. Somebody was asking for a Tiger Woods update, and all we have is that surgery, appear to be some leg injuries. I did see one report that said that source told him it could be multiple leg fractures. They do not believe the injuries to be life-threatening. That's the good news. That's all we have, but I say, we have. Again, it's pretty, for the most part, there's not a lot of hard reporting going on about it right now, and I think that's because, the news is just trickling out there. Yeah. So you just hope that he's okay. I mean, that's it. Long term, you hope he's okay. For anybody, no matter who it is. And really, it's kind of premature to even worry about somebody's golf career. It's more life issues right now for Tiger Woods. That's kind of where that is. Here's the other thing that's out there. Now, this is, just jumping around. I'll just give you real quick here some things that are out there. There's a report out there that Deshaun Watson's request for a trade from the Houston Texans is down to 3 teams as possibilities, at least in terms of actual talks going on. Jets, Dolphins, Titans. What are those scenarios? Deshaun Watson, if that's true, if this report is true, that the possibility for a new spot for him to trade him away from Texas is 3 possibilities. Jets, Dolphins, Titans. And what does that mean? You look at the Jets, they have the top pick. So what are they going to do? They're going to trade everything away so they can get Deshaun and not pick. Take the more known quantity for the less known, in exchange for the less known one. I don't know. Then you look at Dolphins. I mean, if it's true, how out on Tua must the Dolphins be at this point for them to do that? And then the Titans, good organization, good football team, good defense, got all the right pieces. Well, they just done with Tannehill. You're going to send Tannehill to Houston? Frankly, none of them seem all that likely. But that report is out there. Just thought I'd pass it along. That's all. Okay, back over to the text line. Real C said travel ball isn't just a baseball thing and didn't even start with them. Look at all the specialization and all extracurricular activities. cheerleading, volleyball, basketball, football, and it goes on. The participation in such, quote, travel ball isn't limited to baseball anymore. Everybody specializes, right? And then you preach against the specialization. What does it say? Unnamed texter says the better players play travel ball.
Not true. Not true. That's ridiculous.
This says sometimes the kids get burnt out from it, but for the most part, the kids are playing the best competition. It's soccer and baseball. Parents pay. Go ahead and I'm going to read the rest of the text.
I want to rant so bad, but I've tried to keep my mouth shut.
Well, it's fine. Let me read the rest of it, and then you respond. It says parents pay a ton of money for both. In those sports, it's all about repetition and facing the best. The best football players go to all kinds of camps these days, Elite 11, quarterback camps, but they can't play football all year around because of the physical demand of the body. None of it is any different. Okay, that's the text that came in.
I just think a lot of times travel ball is orchestrated and worked out by these helicopter parents, to use a modern day term. You know, I'm kind of old school with that because it goes back to participation trophies. We're going to give everybody a trophy that participates. That's not reality. That's not the world. When I was a kid, if you didn't make the all-star team, it's kind of like Coach Wilkerson said a while ago. If I didn't make the all-star team, you went to the pool for the rest of the summer. And my first year in baseball as a 7-year-old, I didn't make the all-star team and cried and cried and cried. And I said, I'll never not make another all-star team until I quit baseball. I mean, it sounds egomaniacal, but I wouldn't let my kids play travel ball until they turned 13. And even then, my oldest son only played for a couple of years because he just wasn't interested in baseball after that. But my youngest son played until he was on the high school team. I just think so much of this travel ball is based, it has very little to do with the kids and more about the parents trying to make their kids become something.
Yeah. You know,
and I don't have a problem with that, but it's just, it goes back to the numbers and the ratios that we looked at a while ago, Matt. It becomes a false world, you know. So I could say more, but DJ's called and he wants to talk about some of the same stuff. So
okay,
all right, I'll give the floor to him if that's fine with you.
Let's do it. DJ on the Davini Equipment phone line. You have the floor, sir. What's up?
Hey, how y'all doing? Well, I just want to comment on your quarterback situation, but before that, I do want to comment on travel ball. I too, you know, I'm a good bit older than you, Matt, but like he just said, everybody played for the community, and then at the end of the year, they picked an all-star team, and that became travel ball. I mean, you know, we traveled down to Brookhaven, Canton, Grenada, you know, and the thing is, I mean, you know, I agree that the travel ball, I'm not saying that parents are trying to purposely exclude people. However, that is the effect of it, whether they're doing it or not. And it's like he said, when you come along playing basketball, baseball, football, that's what we did. And listen, I'm not trying to rain on any parent's parade, okay? But I don't care how much travel ball you play. It takes a special athlete to hit a 95-mile-an-hour curveball, and then a slider, and then a changeup, okay? You know, I don't care how much travel ball you play. There's only special athletes. It's just like NBA players. You know, there's very few guys under 6'4" that have a chance. That's why football is such a great sport, because it does offer to so many other players. Now, I'm going to change gears a little bit. You know, the whole quarterback, and I'm going to blame the general managers. So many people are trying to chase the next Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. A lot of bad deals have been made. Look at Carson Wentz. Look at Jared Goff. And we're looking at Deshaun Watson. I think he's a great quarterback. But here you go. You got a guy, you give him a no-trade clause. He gets his feelings hurt. He wants to trade. Is that really and look at Philadelphia right now. Philadelphia gave Carson Wentz, Tom Brady money, and he's never had but one good season. So the thing is, you know, you got general managers in the NBA that's trying to turn the NFL to the NBA, you know, and the thing is, you remember, I don't know if you're old enough, but Magic Johnson, do you remember when Westhead won an NBA championship and Johnson got him fired because he didn't like his style?
Yeah. I do remember that, yeah.
Well, you know, we're giving quarterbacks too much leverage. I get it. It's a quarterback-driven league. But come on. I mean, Carson Wentz, they gave bank. Jared Goff, they gave bank. And it's just like Dak right now. I think Dak deserves a contract, but Dallas is just dysfunctional. You know, I'm an Ohio State guy. You know that. But they gave Zeke Elliott quarterback money. Enough said. You don't give running backs quarterback money, not in this day and age. But, hey, love your show, man.
Appreciate it very much. And, hey, and DJ, you know, I flipped on this thing, and I think Dak and his representation are ahead of us on all of us on this. It's just me speculating. That's all it is. I don't know this, but I'm just speculating, watching from a distance. I think maybe they were ahead of all of us on this, and they looked at it and went, you know, we don't have to prove ourselves anymore. I think Dak's like, I don't really have to prove myself. I think they're like, you know what? The Cowboys need to prove themselves. And you know, Dak goes out and plays on that franchise tag and kind of bets on himself this past year. And even with that injury, prior to that, betting on himself, he kind of cashed in on himself, didn't he? Leading the league in passing. He did some things that nobody else was doing. The numbers were through the roof. You look at the way the other situation has fallen out in that pandemic season after his injury. Wentz traded, drafted before Dak. Goff traded, drafted before Dak. You know, you look at what's going on with Deshaun. And I think if you're Dak Prescott right now, do not sign a long-term deal with the Cowboys. I don't care what demands they might meet. Don't do it. Play another year on the franchise tag. Bet on Dak. Ought to play on the franchise tag. Ought to bet on himself. Make that $37 million, whatever it is this year. The endorsements continue. Bet on himself. It'll work out. And then go somewhere else. Or at least have the whole thing in the palm of your hand. I wouldn't dare right now sign a long-term deal with Dallas. I wouldn't.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
And I think
I don't know that I'd play for him this year.
Well, and look, everybody's going, all the talking heads now are going, what are they doing? They're going, oh, the Cowboys need to sign him to a long term. That's as if it's all in the Cowboys' court. Nobody's even considering the fact that Dak and his folks might be going, hey, man, I don't want to sign a long term here. How do I make that clear without actually having to come out and say it? I don't want to sign a long term here. They're not putting me through a tryout. I'm putting them through a tryout. You want me to play for you, franchise tag me, fine. But I want to kind of see what you're doing. And there may be some better options. I just think that's kind of where it is. I wanted to get to this. Jackson Mailman says, I think Vandy should give the Whistler a full scholarship to Clown College. Miko said, listening to your conversation with Thibodeau, my son absolutely loves baseball, plays travel ball here in Flowood. This year was his first year playing football since he was 6, and he loves it too. But this baseball stuff is pricey, and the scholarship thing will be a key if and when it comes time to decide on one or the other when it comes to college. Baseball has priced some really talented kids out of the sport. Miko, thanks for your text. It's a great one to end the day on. That'll wrap it up from the Bureau. For JB, I'm Matt. We'll see y'all tomorrow.